Hello, in this video, I will demonstrate how to set up an AI market watch and idea generator. Let's begin by identifying who this automation is for and who will benefit from it. This automation tracks trending topics on platforms like Twitter, YouTube, and Reddit using AI to filter meaningful posts and convert them into content ideas. It also includes a workflow that analyzes product market fit and provides suggestions and insights about the market based on your product. Essentially, it comprises three main stages, or rather, three distinct workflows. The first stage involves scraping data from YouTube and X. The second stage focuses on analysis and research to gather additional data points for generating specific post ideas. The third stage will conduct market research using Reddit. So I'll start by inputting something to begin. Let's try entering vibe coding as an example. The goal is for it to generate content ideas related to vibe coding and provide market research or topics about vibe coding, including an overview of the market potential, products I could sell, and more. The workflow has now started. The first step is that it will move to this split branch. This split branch divides the workflow into three separate routes. The first route currently uses a YouTube scraper. Right now, the AI is collecting videos from YouTube about vibe coding. I'm using Apify for this task. I'll explain how I set it up in detail later in the video. Once it finishes scraping YouTube videos about vibe coding, it will proceed to transcribe the collected videos. For this, I'm using a YouTube transcript scraper from Apify. I'll show you how to set that up later in the video as well. After completing this branch, it will move to the second branch before proceeding due to this merge node. This merge node ensures it doesn't advance without completing the second branch. Next, this section generates analysis and research for additional data points. This process creates content ideas based on the data we've collected. Once the content ideas are generated, it will split into two branches. The first branch goes directly to the merge node. The second branch will conduct further research on those ideas using the internet. If I click on this node while it runs, you can see we have the YouTube transcript, Twitter content, and the task is to generate a list of actionable content ideas strictly related to marketing, avoiding technical details. This is purely an idea generator, focusing on creativity to ensure we don't replicate existing content. After the model finishes generating ideas, the next node, the research agent, includes several tools. The most important tool is the SERP API. This will search the internet for Specifically, it will look for new approaches to the ideas from the previous node. Once that's complete, it moves to the research agent. You can see it's accessing this tool here. The SERP API allows this AI agent to search the internet. It will do this for all 10 items it has. After processing the 10 items, it will then transfer all the gathered information to our Google Sheets. If I open this node, you can see that using the output, we'll conduct in-depth research on the topic. We'll provide some guidelines such as key trends, insights, marketing use cases, current industry or niche developments, and any available statistics, frameworks, or case studies. This will apply to all 10 items. Once all the research is complete, it will send all the information to our Google Sheets. To check how the Google Sheets look, this is a sample of its appearance. It includes a title, hook, format, and angle. This is a high-level method for storing our ideas. You can adapt this format to suit your preferences. Once all your ideas are listed, you can see this includes a video tutorial. This is a one-pager. It covers all the idea formats. It includes the hook, title, and angle. Next, we'll move to the third branch of the workflow, which focuses on market research using Reddit. This part of the workflow searches Reddit for information about vibe coding. It looks for product market fit, trending topics, and additional ideas. And this node, once it gathers those ideas, you can see there are many items. This if node checks if there are many outputs. I set a limit of 5 to select high-quality topics, or rather good Reddit posts. Then it proceeds to this limit. I think this limit is unnecessary. You can remove it. I added this limit because there were many items and it would take too long to demonstrate. Please remove this node when using it in production. This AI node then validates that the searched posts are relevant to vibe coding. I'll open it to show you how it looks. You can see the prompt here. So it determines if a Reddit post is about our desired topic. Then we have this dynamic variable, which is vibe coding. Right? It checks if a post is related to vibe coding, and it produces this output. It then moves to the next node. The if node right here basically aligns the data. This if node then verifies the content, and then it is summarized. The data from this if node is summarized in this OpenAI node. We align the data and send it to Gmail to see how the data looks in Gmail. I'll show you its appearance. So this is what we have. You can see this subreddit is about vibe coding. I'm not sure vibe coding was the best example, but it works. You can see the author is seeking 4 to 6 individuals for small groups to explore their vibe coding journey. Perhaps vibe coding wasn't the best choice, but you can see the number of upvotes, the posting date, the subreddit, and the summary, and finally the link. If we click this link, it will open a new tab to view the Reddit post itself, which is quite impressive, right? Now let's dive into how I set everything up. Before setting this up, you need a Reddit account, an Appify account, and an OpenAI account. I'll start with Appify since it's the closest. This is the first node. It triggers when it receives a chat message. The chat message should be a topic of interest, perhaps something you want to research, right? I'll input it and it will first go to this split node. This splits it into 3 branches, which is quite simple. Then we move to this Appify node here. This is a YouTube scraper. Specifically, it's a YouTube scraper by streamers. Search for streamers YouTube scraper in Appify and it should appear. Yes, this is the first one. Once found, to set it up, I assume you already have an Appify account since it's required and it's free for the first $5. I've nearly finished this, but testing it is beneficial. The $5 is sufficient to test all your scraping needs. Once you have the scraper, go to API and find the API endpoints. Click on API endpoints. Select Run Actors synchronously and retrieve that item. Sorry, you can see it's a post request. Copy this and note the API token is here. I won't show my API token. I'll just indicate where to paste it, but it will include your API token. Paste the URL here. This is the body. For the search query, use chat input. Drag chat input there and you're set. The next node is a loop over node. The loop over node is straightforward. It transcribes each item from the YouTube scraper individually, right? This is another HTTP node connected to Appify. Same process. The only difference is we'll use Pin Studio's YouTube scraper. Search for that in Appify and follow the same steps. Then we reach this merge node. Before the merge node, I'll go to the second branch. The second branch uses another Appify scraper, specifically a Twitter scraper. Here, you can see I used Kaido. Yes, I find it hard to pronounce, but it's Kaido's Pi Twitter X data scraper. This is what you'll use. Search for it in Appify, and it's the first result. Same process. The only difference is the JSON body, which varies here. Specify the language as English and add chat input here. I keep the maximum items low to conserve Appify credits. This merge node consolidates everything into one set. I actually forgot this code node here. This code node prepares the data. You can copy this JSON as is. It joins captions for each video item and safely joins text if the data is an array. It prepares the data for the merge nodes. This merges the data from the 2 branches. After merging, we move to our content generator. We do this to avoid copying the exact content from YouTube and Twitter. We want to add a unique perspective on how to use it. It's very simple. We provide the YouTube transcript and the content from Twitter. This should be Twitter for X. The task is to generate a list of actionable content ideas strictly related to marketing, not technical. So it provides a title, hook, format with a marketing focus. You can also see it includes the YouTube content transcript here. We've added that too. And we've included the tweet text here. It combines content from Twitter and YouTube. It will offer a fresh perspective that we can use as desired. The next node is the research agent. Before diving in, you can see it has some tools. The key tool here is the SERP API. An alternative is the Perplexity node, but I found this more robust because of the Think node. When the model is unsure, it can refer to the Think node. That's why it's an AI node and not a Perplexity node. I set up this research agent with a basic prompt. Using this dynamic variable we triggered our workflow with, it researches and finds market use cases for the topics discussed. Here I'm instructing it to research market use cases for the topics, which is vibe coding. I've also provided guidelines. Please conduct deep research on these topics. Key trends and insights. These are the guidelines it follows. Are there statistics or frameworks? It searches the web for this. I've also specified an output format. I want topic, key insights, expertise, supporting data with sources, citations, use cases, and anything else useful. I've also added a system message. It's quite simple. I'll show you how it looks. You're a senior research strategist trained in deep content discovery and synthesis. I'm defining its role without providing JSON content. This is a clear way to instruct its inherent role. After that, it uses the SERP API, the tool I provided. This tool enables web access. To set this up, create a new credential. You'll need an API key. Go to serpapi.com, create an account, and once you have an account, after creating an account with SERP API, you get about 100 free searches. I think it renews monthly, which is generous. Go to your API key, paste your API key here. After pasting, return to n8n and add your key there to connect to SERP API. This is a tool for web searching. It's like Wikipedia. This code node prepares the data from the research agent. The instructions are simple. Extract and merge the JSON from the output function to format structured text for Google Docs. This formats the data for clear processing by Google Docs. Once done, it merges the data and sends it to Google Docs. It will look something like this. Here, I have many ideas. I can build on this, perhaps a workflow to generate scripts from the angles provided. These are new validated angles. You can generate scripts from this, which can be very useful. That's the first part of the workflow, generating fresh content ideas from current trends. The second part of the workflow involves market research using Reddit. From the same prompt, I'll search for web coding on Reddit to gather ideas and conduct market research. Setting this up is straightforward. Open a Reddit node. I have a Reddit account connected here. For you, it will be empty. Click the drop-down and create a new credential. You'll need a client ID and client secret. To get these, go to Reddit. In Reddit, go to Settings here. I think it's on the right. Here it is. Then go to Privacy, scroll down, and find third-party app authorizations. Click it. I've already created an app. You'll create a new one. Copy the URL, the client URL here. I'll create a new one to demonstrate, but I'll delete these API keys later. This is the redirect URL. It looks like this. Copy it and paste it here. Select Web App. This is crucial. Copy the redirect URL, check I'm not a robot, and create your app. The client ID will be below the app name. This is the name I gave my app. You can choose any name. Don't worry about the client ID. It's this right here. I'll delete mine. That's where you copy your client ID. The client secret is simple. It's this right here, and you'll be connected to Reddit. Next, set up this if node. This if node validates that Reddit posts are quality posts. It checks the required number of upvotes. From the response content, I use n8n to filter based on quality. It ensures text exists, not just pictures, and the date is within the last 7 days. This code sets instructions to filter items from the past 7 days. You can use GPT to adjust it as needed. The limit node is unnecessary. I added it because it output 44 items, which would take too long to show. You can remove the limit node. It still works. I have a set fields node to define metadata for upcoming nodes. It includes upvotes, subreddit size, URL, and other useful metadata. This OpenAI node plays a crucial role. It validates whether the content we extracted from Reddit is actually relevant to our topic, which in this case is vibe coding. We don't want to move forward with unrelated posts, so this step is about quality control. To do that, I connect the chat input here, which prompts the model to analyze the content and return a simple yes or no, depending on whether the post aligns with our topic. Next, we introduce an if node. This node handles the decision-making process. If the output is no, meaning the content isn't relevant, we route it through the true branch and essentially drop it or mark it for review. If the output is yes, it goes to the false branch, which in our case is the path forward. From there, another OpenAI node comes in to summarize the relevant content. It condenses the key ideas from the Reddit post into a short, readable summary. This is useful for quick reviews or further automation steps. After that, I use a set node to define what we'll include in the final email. This could be the summary, the original post, metadata like upvotes or subreddit name, whatever context is important. Finally, I add a code node that converts all of this into clean HTML format so it integrates smoothly into the email body. This ensures that everything looks good and reads well when it reaches the recipient. That wraps up today's video. If you want to try this workflow yourself, check the description for the complete template. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.